ShopX is another way for a Web2 brand to earn Web3 revenue. So again, in no way did we replace how they're doing sales now. It's just another additional stream of something they can do. So I think the why is important. So my why behind ShopX is overall, I wish I want to live a nice, peaceful life. I don't think that's too much to ask. I found that more difficult to do if me personally, I just thought the money system was corrupt. And that originally led me to physical gold and physical silver as a potential solution to that. Then Bitcoin for me was the next evolution of that. Whether that's right or wrong, only time will tell. But either way, that's what I think it is. And then ShopX is a way for me to scale people in, like onboard people into that ecosystem at scale. So since we offer Web2 brands a product and service where they then offer to their customers, that can bring their customers into Web3 at scale. And that's a 0 to 1 moment for a lot of people.
Papaya! Hello all and welcome to another episode of Transform Your Future with me, Eddie Eisen, where I sit down with entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and high achievers as they identify areas I can improve on and guide me to further my self-improvement practice. For more information and insights, join my newsletter at transformyourfuture.com, where I write about reinvention, personal growth, and entrepreneurship. If you like the show, you'll love the content on my site. We want to hear from you. Let us know how we can improve your listening and viewing experience. Suggest upcoming topics or a great guest you know for the show. Please reach out to us through our website, your podcast app, comment, or just text me directly at 813-722-1417. We want to hear from you. In today's episode, we dive deep into the cutting-edge trends shaping the world of business today. We are exploring a topic that's at the forefront of technology and entrepreneurial innovation. Innovative entrepreneurship, how Web3 and NFTs are changing the game. The world of entrepreneurship is constantly evolving, but few shifts have been as transformative as the rise of Web3 and NFTs. These technologies are not just buzzwords, they represent a fundamental change in how businesses operate, engage with customers, and generate value. Web3, often described as the next phase of the internet, is all about decentralization, giving more power and ownership to users. Meanwhile, NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, have opened up new avenues of creating and trading digital assets from art and music to virtual real estate and beyond. In today's episode, we're joined by Eric Mchugh, an entrepreneur who's at the forefront of this revolution. Eric has been leveraging Web3 and NFTs to build innovative businesses that challenge the status quo and offer new opportunities for growth. He'll share his insights on how these technologies are not just changing the game, but creating entirely new ones. We'll discuss how entrepreneurs can harness the power of Web3 to scale their ventures, build engaged communities, and create sustainable revenue streams. Eric will also delve into the mindset needed to thrive in this rapidly evolving digital landscape where flexibility, creativity, and a deep understanding of technology are key. Whether you're an entrepreneur looking to stay ahead of the curve or simply curious about the future of digital business, this episode is packed with valuable insights that can help you navigate the exciting possibilities of Web3 and NFTs. So get ready to explore the intersection of technology and entrepreneurship and discover how you can transform your future in this new digital era. Eric, welcome to Transform Your Future podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing, Eddie. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really grateful to be on. And I'm looking forward to meeting you based on you're smiley and just cool.
Thank you. I do my best to be a good human being first, right? We've been communicating back and forth. I've been looking at your stuff. Let's start in by talking about your favorite Nikola Tesla quote.
Yeah, sure. So my favorite quote is, and I think of everything, if you want to understand the secrets of the universe, think of everything in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And so that really struck home with me, especially with the whole spirituality aspects. And it's funny because he draws back from ancient wisdom. So like ancient like cultures like Hermeticism, and he pulls from that to manifest what he did. So in terms of basically, if you think of everything in the universe is energy, frequency, vibration, and every single possibility is happening in this present moment. And the present moment that we're paying attention to is the one we're giving attention to. So in terms of energy, frequency, vibration, it's very powerful in business and in life, because if you think of like the emotional spectrum, every emotion is just a different frequency. So if you're saying you're sad, it's a different frequency. You're saying you're happy, it's a different frequency. If you're saying you're loving, a different frequency. And if you're saying you're just trying to do your best and be kind, that's a frequency of itself. And just like a radio station, if you turn to a specific station, you get that frequency. So that's why sad people get sad people. That's why angry people attract angry people. But the flip side, that's why positive people attract positive people, loving people attract loving people. So it's just, it's beneficial for me. It's beneficial for you if we're all kind, if we're all nice, and we're all positive.
Yes, if we're all having those higher frequencies like gratitude and love and respect and kindness.
The gratitude's attitude. Gratitude's great. Like, I have a gratitude journal right here. I used it before this podcast.
Cool. Yeah, get yourself in the right state.
Yeah.
I'm really big on the emotional state and the energy level and the frequency that I'm in, because I want to always be my best and perform at my best no matter what I'm doing, right? So let's talk a little bit about your background. I know you have had a lot of challenges in your life that you've went through, and I know you talk a lot about intention and about, wanting to impact the world through what you do. Let's talk a little bit about how you ended up becoming the Eric that wants to impact the world.
Yeah, well, dude, it's just one step at a time. Like, I'm just living in the present moment, and I believe in every present moment. Like, just like in chess, you could have screwed up the last move, you could have made the best move possible, but either way, either case, you can always make the best move right now. So that's just what I've been doing over and over again. I think it had some compounding effects. But it's nice to meet everyone. I'm Eric, just a normal person. I love anime. I love hiking. I have friends. I have family. 30 years old, blessed to be living in beautiful Southern California. My main hobbies right now are chess, reading, Muay Thai, anything under the sun, and meditation. I just got back from a 10-day Vipassana meditation retreat, and that was a beautiful, transformative experience for me. So if that interests you at all, highly recommend you check it out. And sorry, Eddie, that's my thing. I plug on every podcast. I just have to, because it's
that's
just
cool. Talk about that a little bit. What was the name of it again?
It's a Vipassana meditation retreat. So it's a 10 full day one in noble silence. And noble silence is no talking with anyone, no looking at anyone, no writing. You really just have your room, a walking path, a meditation hall, and you spend the whole time doing inner work. So it's the method that the Buddha used to reach enlightenment. So for the first 3 days, you focus your attention on the area around your nostril. You start to pick up different sensations. And then from there, you scan your body back and forth over and over again. And this extracts the traumas that you stored in your body in the form of different sensations. So just like, let's say you're a NASA scientist, you have to send a piece of metal into space. You need it 100% pure. The best way to purify that is to run it through magnets, and the magnets would extract the impurities. So you're just doing that on a spiritual level. And then, of course, you close the meditation by storing all your energy in the top of your head. And then you wish everyone in the world peace, love, and happiness. Which, if we go back to the vibrational frequency thing, if you're wishing everyone peace, love, and happiness, everyone's wishing you peace, love, and happiness. And that's honestly just like, it's a better place to be, in my opinion. So yeah, dude, it's called Vipassana. It's 10 days. The cool thing is it's completely free too. And there's centers all over the world. It was a transformative experience to me. I suggest you look into it. Hell, I mean, you could show up and you don't like it after a day. It's like, no one's holding you there. Just walk to your car and leave. But the 10 days, well worth it, in my opinion.
Interesting. It sounds like a great experience. I'd like to do it. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'll send you the link after this podcast.
Cool. So let's talk a little bit now about some of the companies, because I know you're a serial entrepreneur. You've founded several different companies. Well, do you want to talk about your AI matchmaking company, which is kind of very interesting?
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to. And the reason there's multiple companies is, first off, I think everyone is happiest when they're serving other people. And I think God, the creator of the universe, whatever you want to call it, I think he gives me individual gifts. He gives you individual gifts. You can't beat me at being me because I'm number one, but I can't beat you at being you because you're the number one Eddie. So logically, if you're trying to best serve other people at scale, the best way to do that is to follow your individual gifts, because that's what you're number one at. And this just so happened to manifest in two different companies, one ShopX, and the one we're about to talk about is Data Inc. And that's the first ever AI powered matchmaking service. So what we do is we auto generate a profile for you based on your digital footprint. And then we create matches based on other users' digital footprint to put users in the position to succeed. So let's say, for example, I get 3 matches a day because I don't want to be flooded with matches. Ashley, Kimberly, Jane. I would see Jane. Jane seems cool. I get a bio of her, like an AI generated bio summary based on her digital footprint. I'm like, okay, Jane seems cool. Tell me more about Jane. Okay, she connected her Facebook. She's the youngest, you're the oldest. Our pattern recognition software says that works well. She connected her LinkedIn. You both went to a 4-year university, studied a similar major. She connected her Instagram. You both tag a bunch of national parks. She connected her Spotify. Did you know you both follow this one artist who has a concert coming up? Would you like me to suggest a date with Jane? The AI suggests a date with Jane. She sees a brief summary of me along with my social media. Because from the female perspective, obviously it's harder for a female to meet like an online stranger just in person. She sees me, she makes sure I'm a normal guy. She sees my mutual friend. She's like, he seems cool. Let me go on that date. She clicks accept. Let's say we go on that date. We fall in love and get married. And then from there, it can act as a relationship butler. So it can be like, yo, you guys haven't been on a date in 3 months. Would you like me to, we suggest the place you had your second date has half off ice cream. Would you like me to make reservations? Reservations made. Oh, her birthday is coming up in 2 weeks. You don't want to miss it because you missed the last one. She just added this to her Pinterest board. It might be a good gift. And this model, it differs from the current dating app model, because I can go into detail on the problems with current dating apps. And if you're on if you're on dating apps, like, I don't think I really need to go into detail just because it's not a great experience for a lot of people. But the largest reason is it's the incentive structure behind the dating apps. So it's a little known fact that most dating apps are owned by Match.com. So there's that monopoly aspect, but it's the incentive. So like, just think about logic. Let's use Tinder as an example. Let's say Tinder were to match a happy couple. That couple would then hopefully leave the dating app. Tinder then loses a paying customer. Tinder is working with Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs would sell out their own mother for probably like $5. So that doesn't like, they don't like to lose money. So this results in an incentive structure where it's like, they want people on the app, and so it's called churn marketing. So they want like a Ferris wheel effect. Like, so if you ever heard of someone down the app, delete the app, down the app, delete the app, it's all by design. Whereas dating, our revenue model, and my thoughts on money is it's an energy to me too. And I believe there's positive ways to make money, and I believe there's negative ways to make money, and I believe in karma too. So if you make money in good ways, and if you provide a lot of value to a lot of people and you become rich, hey, good for you, man. But if you make money in bad ways, karma will come back to get you. So our revenue model is, if you like our app, you like scheduling dates through our app, and you pay for the date through our app, we can get a commission. So we're incentivized to get people on the dates. We're incentivized to get that match, and we're incentivized to provide a good service. Because like, think about, like, you don't know a girl, it's her first date. You get all the data from her. She gets all the data from you. You're not reading it, but it's suggesting cool dates based on that data. And you're just like, yeah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to think about it. I just want to go, here, this seems cool. No, I don't like this one. Give me another. You pay the credit card, and we suggest dates that way. And that way we can follow you through the life cycle of the relationship, if that's what you're looking for. Because again, we're in a no judgment zone. Like, if you want to pursue whatever you want, I'm sure there's someone for you, but just be kind, be nice, be honest with the other person on what you're pursuing, and hopefully we can match people with what they want. And dude, the cool thing is, dating is just the first part. It can expand to like a community app. Like, imagine us, we meet for the first time in person. We're like, I don't know this guy, he seems chill, but I don't know him. We tap our phones, and then it shows us what we have in common, and it's just stuff for us to do together. Or I think human relationships are a very important part for human happiness. And I think males are especially lonely just due to like dating apps and social media and all that, all like the whole agenda against them. That's a whole thing. Like, I could be like, find me 5 guys in my local area who are into Muay Thai, who are into meditation, who would like to get talkers, and I can make friends that way.
Interesting. I really like the concierge portion as well, to be like my concierge to my relationship, to make sure I remember anniversaries and birthdays and
Yes.
follow interests and stuff. That's very cool. That's very cool. Maybe as an upper level service to be able to buy the gifts for me and mail them.
No, we want to no, because that's like I think AI at its core is, first of all, AI's core is pattern recognition at scale, and I think it's a way for people to leverage their natural talents to enhance their experience. I don't think AI can take over human creativity. I just don't think it can. Like, because again, energy, frequency, and vibration. If you start a beautiful piece of art, it's vibrating at a high frequency. You're like, that's why I like it, or like a beautiful building. That's why I like it. AI can't copy that, but it can be very helpful. And so that's what it is. It's just helping people in their dating experience, whatever they're looking for.
Yeah.
It's not taking over the dating experience, because it can't do that. The people, like, it puts people in the position to succeed. They still need to go on the date. They still need to be pleasant to each other. They still need to be kind. They still have to make it work from a human to human level, but we set up the back end for it to work. So, like, for example, in our Spotify example, it suggested the Spotify date. It's like, yo, you follow this person, you should go to this concert. But let's say it didn't suggest it as a date. It's still matched because of that. And that can come up organically. So, like, you're in a position to succeed. And the longer you're on the app, the better it gets at matching you, the more chance you have of finding your right partner.
So what's some of the stats about actually matches and people going on successful relationships or whatever, or successful dates?
We're just on the waitlist phase right now. So we're at around 400. The reason we're on the waitlist phase right now is because we're waiting for the Apple app approvals, and we're training the AI on real data. So as soon as that comes out, we'll be publishing the stats as much as possible, because KPIs are extremely important. But it's getting better every day in terms of matching people. Because before, at first, it obviously just sucked, but it's improving every day. And we have a test group that's just like we're gauging and rating matches.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it sounds very interesting. I'll drop a link in the show notes so people can check it out and maybe get on the wait list.
Yeah, very much appreciated. We're following the Uber model, so we're going city by city, just because, I mean, it doesn't really make sense if we can, like, let's say match someone, like 50 people are in New York, 50 people are in LA, 50 people are in Houston. It's like you match someone, it's like, yeah, what's the point? But so we're going LA first, and then we'll probably expand to either New York, Austin, or San Fran, and just kind of go from there.
Interesting. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Tell me, is there anything else you want to talk about dating?
No, I mean, unless you have any questions, it's the company's there to help, and they'll be around for a while. So the fact that we can plant the thought seed is greatly appreciated by me. And if anyone has any feedback, obviously when you're building software, user feedback is the most important thing. So feel free to reach out if you have feedback, or I can help.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I got divorced. It was a very challenging thing to do in my life. It took me a long time to make the decision to do it, and it was very uncomfortable, but I did it. And later, I went out looking for another relationship later on, and I used some dating apps, and it was interesting, my experience doing that. Because, I'm a little bit older. So back in the day, that's not how we found people. That's not how you found a relationship. That's not how you found dates. But, now it's the new world, and this is just part of how things are done. So it was a great experience for me, actually. And it ended up working really good for me.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, I don't have no qualms about it. But I know I did recognize that sometimes people would present themselves in a very, very positive light and put a glamour shot up or whatever, you know what I mean? So I like the idea that your app is based more about really looking at the social medias and interest and involvement and all those things involved in the network of, job, school, interest, to put people together, which I think is much more useful than sexual attraction, so to speak.
And there's one thing I want to touch on, and that's that dating. It's never it's not our intention for that to be the sole way for people to meet people. Like me personally, I have better luck meeting someone face to face, and I don't think that'll ever change. But if someone feels like trying to meet someone online, We're just offering another option. Because again, I believe in human connection, and I think meeting someone face to face is a fantastic way to do that. We have no intention of replacing that. I hope that actually happens more.
No, but I mean, it's part of the process in many ways, because, you know, you have to figure out who you're going to meet. And if you could figure out who you're going to meet and then go meet them and see how that all works out when you have that real human face-to-face connection, right? So that's how I used it anyway, was using an app to get to those people that I wanted to spend more time with and find out about them.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm happy that worked out for you, by the way.
Thank you. It's the best thing. Honestly, it's a miracle. I feel like she's an incredible woman, and she's a great fit for me. And I don't know why she puts up with a high-level crazy person like me, like works 14 hours a day.
You seem cool. It's almost like the universe had a plan for you, and everything was just get it. Yeah, it always does.
I certainly feel that way.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. I certainly feel that way. Thank you for recognizing that. So let's talk about ShopX.
Sure.
This is interesting. So you're taking e-commerce brands into the Web 3.0 world. Let's talk about that and what that means and why people should do it.
I love that question. And to reiterate, similar to dating, where it's just simply another option for people to meet people, ShopX is another way for a Web 2 brand to earn Web 3 revenue. So again, in no way did we replace how they're doing sales now. It's just another additional stream of something they can do. So I think the why is important. So my why behind ShopX is, overall, I wish I want to live a nice, peaceful life. I don't think that's too much to ask. I found that more difficult to do if me personally, I just thought the money system was corrupt. And that originally led me to physical gold and physical silver as a potential solution to that. Then Bitcoin for me was the next evolution of that. Whether that's right or wrong, only time will tell. But either way, that's what I think it is. And then ShopX is a way for me to scale people in, like onboard people into that ecosystem at scale. So since we offer Web 2 brands a product and service where they then offer to their customers, that can bring their customers into Web 3 at scale. And that's a 0 to 1 moment for a lot of people. So ShopX is a way for a Web 2 brand to enter the Web 3 space. So let's go over what is Web 1 versus Web 2 versus Web 3, just because.
Yes. Because some people don't know.
Yeah. No one knows, but it's still working itself out. But the easiest way to think of Web 1 is just think of read only. So you can go online and you can read stuff, which is fantastic because the information is spread that way. Web 2, let's frame it as social media. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff. You can read and you can write. But you can't own. So like I could write an Instagram post. You can read my Instagram post. The only issue is Instagram owns that post. So if we say something, they could cancel us. They could sell our data for nefarious purposes. Instagram is in complete control over there. The difference between Web3 is it's read, write, and own. So not only can you read the content, write the content, but you can also own the content. Owning the content comes in the form of a cryptocurrency or a NFT. An NFT stands for a non-fungible token. Essentially, just think of like there's a piece of land in the real world. It's your land, only you own it. You can do what you want with that. You can build a house, you can build a school, you can build a garden. You can do nothing with it. It's your land, but you own it. And then Web3 is just a digital version. So you can own a digital piece of land in cyberspace, and you get to decide what you build on that. And since my area of expertise is e-commerce, let's use e-commerce as an example. An e-commerce brand, they download the ShopX app, they want to enter the Web3 space, they can launch an NFT collection with zero technical help. Like you could do it. Like I could walk you through it after this call in 10 minutes. It's just filling out 2 forms. It's like price, name, image, description, cool stuff like that. You as the brand, you then deploy your NFT, and now you want to sell that NFT to your customers. And you may be thinking, why would my customers ever want an NFT? Why would they care? And that's where you get to come in and as a brand program an e-commerce benefit to NFT in the form of discounts and real life events, free product, free like exclusive content. You as the brand get to decide that. And the cool thing is, let's say I'm the brand, you're the consumer, you have my NFT. Now there's a connection between me and you. So we can send value each other's way with no third party interfering. So if you decide to, so like, even if I'm the brand, I create the NFT, if I want to take it away from you, because I'm like, the SETI guy, I can't take it away from you because it's your NFT. Amazon, Instagram, the government, they can't come in and take away from you because it's your NFT. And the cool thing is, long term, let's say I become the most successful brand in the world, you own that NFT because you bought in early. Hopefully there's a monetary increase, and if you want to sell it for a profit, you can. So it's a way to share the value with the community. And me on the brand side, if you decide to sell it, that's totally within your right, but I can program in royalties too. So if you want to sell it, I decide I want royalties. That's programmed in from the beginning of the creation of the NFT. So if you sell it once, twice, 3 times, I can get my percentage as well. And from the brand side, like some of the benefits you get are higher conversion rates. So because customers have already bought into your product, you can assume an 80% conversion rate because they've already bought in. So this gives you a better idea of how much product to make. You can do marketing tactics like, okay, I have 100 NFTs. I can safely say 80 are going to sell. I know that I can create 80 products, or I can create 40 to create that sell, to create that FOMO. You get the biggest brand benefit is probably increased like repeat customers. So like in e-commerce, the name of the game isn't acquiring the customer, because more often than not, the brand will spend more money to get that first customer than they make from that first purchase. So it's like, how do I get them coming back? And that's where the ownership aspect comes into play, because like if you feel like you're part owner of the brand, you're not going to go to the competitor. It's like, if I have a timeshare in Hawaii and you're my friend and you're going to Hawaii, it's like, no, just stay in my timeshare. Whereas if I just have the hotel, it's like, yeah. And the third thing is, honestly, I think it's one of the most important things, but it's harder to track. It's the word of mouth marketing effect. And that's because if the customer feels like they have ownership in the brand, and we've seen this in the past where like on their social media accounts, they'll change their Twitter, Instagram profile to the NFT of the brand, and they start telling their friends about it and talking organically. It's like, hey, I bought this on part of the brand. And then obviously we're all tired of ads. Like I'm tired of if I mention Coca-Cola on this podcast, I'm tired of going to Instagram and be Coke. It's like, no, but I would trust my friend recommending something.
Yeah. I got an email from Noah Kagan. It wasn't a personal email. I'm on his mailing list. And it was about skincare regime. And about an hour later, my Amazon account, I went in there and it was recommending I buy some skincare products.
Must have been a weird coincidence, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah, okay. Right? Weird. Right. I guess to give your listeners some value, it's not so much related to Web3, it's just useful. Because I used to work with a ton of brands in the past. A common retargeting thing they use is if they have, like, you put something in your cart and you don't follow through the purchase, just wait a couple of days and you usually get a discount on the product. So if there's something you want to buy, just throw in your product in your cart and just wait for that discount. Might as well, if they're doing it, because they've already, I don't feel bad about it, because they've already factored that into their bottom line. So they would have increased the price of the overall products to cover this cost. So it's like, if they're already factoring it, why not save yourself some money?
Yeah. Let's go a little bit deeper about this, because I'm very interested. Web 3.0, I understand we're talking about NFTs and creating NFTs. Is there something beyond just creating the NFT? Are we creating a space like you talked about? You have land in the real world. We're going to take this land out there. Is there actual space in a community that I'm building, or just an NFT that my customers would buy to be part of the brand?
So in terms of building a community space, NFTs are a great community building tool. And if you want to create the space, that NFT can act as a key to get in the space. So we have brands where they have like a community Discord where the NFTs have access to specific sections, specific section of Discord where they vote on stuff. They have say on what the product's going to be. You can also get access to community content too. So like one of our clients, Fox's show, Capopolis, is we have an NFT. You get early access to product, but in direct access to like building the community, yes, like you can talk with them in Discord, but that really comes into play with AR, VR type of thing. So like in the AR, VR, like let's say Nike has a NFT collection. They launch their NFT, you buy their Nike Gold Pass, you can gain access to the Nike VR lounge and communicate with other Nike members. And the cool thing is it's because NFTs are the perfect transition from physical to digital. And that's another thing ShopX is doing. So we've started tokenizing luxury assets. So for example, someone bought like a supercar Ferrari is like $250K. They bought the NFT version of that. So the NFT and the car. So let's say hypothetically in that example, if Ferrari so chose, they could create a Ferrari lounge. So only owners of the Ferrari can have access to that lounge. So the car clubs have their car clubs. It's like you have the product, you get the physical, you get the digital copy. That gives you access to that. It works vice versa too. So and this is all future talk because obviously AR and VR is still infant, but like in the future, this is probably what it's going to be. It's like in like, let's say I'm in my metaverse or my AR or my VR world, whatever. I purchased a product in the VR world. I purchased like a Nike sunglasses because I want my avatar to have it or whatever. My cryptocurrency wallet is the one that owns the NFT because that's the transition, the one-to-one transition from digital to physical. And because my wallet owns it in real life, I can go to the Nike store with that NFT and unlock the product in real life. So all of that's just still being built in the background. And I think it's pretty cool.
To help me really understand this better and how we could use it to our benefit, can you give me like a real world example of a e-com, like a product? Somebody has this e-com product and they develop an NFT. Can we talk about like in real terms?
Yeah, sure. So I'll give you three I think it gives you a better cover. We'll do the enterprise example. We'll do the mid-tier company example. And we'll do the startup example. So the enterprise example, I like to use Fox Studios, their new show Coppopolis. If you're a fan of Rick and Morty, it's by the same creator. That's a funny show. Check it out. They launched an NFT collection called the Crap Chickens. So what they did is they launched this prior to the release of their show. So going into their first episode, they made millions of dollars selling NFTs, but who cares? It's Fox. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to sound like a snob. Millions of dollars is a lot of money, but like to Fox, it's like, yeah. So they made a good amount of money doing that. But more importantly, going to the first episode, they already had a community behind the show. And the first episode hit record numbers partly due to that community. And now as a Crap Chicken owner, you get specific benefits, just like depending on what the show wants to get. Like your chicken can show up in the show, you can get merchandise, you get early access to content, you can vote on stuff that's going to be the show. So it's building that relationship for you. The mid-size example, we were working with it was a hyper store in LA. And so their biggest issue was like
what kind of store?
Like a hype hat store. So like a fashionable streetwear store. So their biggest issue was they were selling, like they would create a hat line for like, let's say 500 hats. They're cool. They're collectibles. And then within seconds, bots would come up and purchase all the hats. Their customers wouldn't get the hats. The bots would then flip the hats on the secondary market for 10 times the profit, and no one's happy. So they created a gold, silver, bronze style pass collection for their customers. And so now their gold, silver, and bronze style, they get a reserved place in line. So they get first access to the hat. The NFTs, they completely block out the bot collections. They get discounts, they get free products, they get a bunch of benefits. And that's because of that collection. And the cool thing to note about this is the NFT pass was 0.75 ETH, which at today's prices is like around $1,750. And the clientele of that hat brand, I mean, they're people into streetwear hats. So like, they're not like balling out by any means. It's just like 23, 24, 25-year-olds type of thing. But they wanted the NFT. They wanted the e-commerce benefit that came with that. So they learned the cryptocurrency technology to get that NFT. So that helps speed up mass adoption. The third example I like to use, and this is the startup example. We're working with a dog on Instagram. I personally love dogs, so this is cool. Like, he's a husky, and huskies are super derpy. A Husky Jackson. He had a brand, so he had some followers, but he didn't have a product. He didn't have a way to monetize yet. So what he was able to do is he launched an NFT collection for his community prior to the release of his product. He was able to earn some revenue without even releasing a product. And then he could use that to build the store. Cause again, like, he has a normal job, normal dude. Like, if you can earn revenue, like, to build your store before you can. They approved his concept and it acted as like a Kickstarter type thing. And on top of that, because the hardest thing to do as a new e-commerce brand is to get your first customers, but he already had a community of people willing to buy his product because of the NFT pass in place. So it worked out pretty well for him. And I want to note on Web3, it's still very new. A bunch of brands are trying a bunch of stuff. A bunch of stuff is failing. Some stuff is working, and then they're just going to optimize from there.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think I've heard people talk about, how you can build your own virtual world, and then your customers can hang out in the virtual world, and they can have benefits and be able to do things and communicate with the brand on a different level. So that maybe they might even be involved in developing new products and new lines and ways to improve things. Yeah,
that's exactly what's happening with some of the streetwear brands we're using. minus the
Yeah.
virtual world, but they have their own space. The virtual world, I think it's going to be the future. It's just a ways off. The UI for the virtual world is still worse than the UI for the Web3 world, so we need to fix that. And the biggest issue we're tackling is for the virtual world, you can't show too many products type of thing. So like, if you go to Ralph's, we can just walk up and down. Ralph's is a grocery store in my area, but you can just walk up and down and you just can't pick with that. But with the virtual world, the attention span's much cheaper, so you need to have like 5 to 10 products just out in the front. It's not like that walking experience because you're not going to scroll the virtual like, yeah, you need to limit the products. Everyone's still optimizing for that. I think the industry that's going to move fastest with that is probably high fashion because their fashion dresses are very like there's not too many of them like a Gucci store like there's not like a flood of it's not like a TJ Maxx. And on top of that, if you have that digital avatar based on your metrics, like your stats and everything, you can try the clothes on in the virtual world and then order it online. So I think that might be the biggest adopter. And they're limited high ticket items too. So like just having that monetary backing, like it's more likely to spread that way and then trickle down to the other products.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And I know that obviously it's really about another way to really communicate with your customers and really find those raving fans that are going to help you to grow whatever your industry is or whatever your business is.
No, you hit it on the hand. You find your super fans and you enhance their power.
Mm-hmm.
And because if you have that core business, because people have you want 1,000 core customers who love your brand versus like 100,000. You're just like, yeah. I think the core ones are more powerful, and they're more fun to deal with, to be honest, too.
I love it. I want to figure out. You need to help me figure out how I can participate, how I can do something like that. It's I was thinking when you were talking also like people, maybe you're a writer and you have a Patreon account, or you're a writer and you have I can't remember the name of the starts with an S, but anyway, you have these accounts. You're still managed by those people. So if those people want to drop you for some reason, then, you lose it, just like social media. So I like the idea of like a writer, a brand like that who releases intellectual property, having that kind of virtual world to talk to their audience and understand the audience better to do things. I think that's interesting.
Yeah, no, I had a couple of friends who got canceled too for like the first one. He's like a famous, famous. He's like a famous Twitch streamer, so he played like Fortnite or whatever. And he said something like what he said was he shouldn't like advertise adult content to kids. That's literally what he said. And then they canceled him instantly. So all of his community was gone. His skins were gone. He lost pretty much everything. He got it back since, but it's because he was on their platform. And I had another friend. She runs an Instagram store. And this is going to be interesting because it's going to come up in the future. She's a mother. She posted a picture with her child. The child, they were swimming, so the child was shirtless. But the AI flagged that as illicit content, and they took down everything instantly. And it took her around 3 weeks to get everything back up because obviously it's fine. So it took 3 weeks to get down. But at the same point, like if that's your livelihood, and they're just going to they're just going to take it down for not even like a human dealing because it's all AI at that point for being arbitrarily flagged, and you can't do anything about it. That may be a problem going forward.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. So, and what do you think the future really holds? 10 years from now, 15 years from now? Are we all going to be living in VR now? Just like, everybody's walking around with their phone glued to their face all day, watching, content on Instagram or, TikTok or whatever, or going to all of them. And all day you go to all of the social medias. What's going to happen 10, 15 years from now? Are we just going to be like with VR and just be in VR all day?
Yeah, so I always like to take the positive spin of it. I like to joke that Web 4 is probably like 10 to 15 years out, and Web 4 is AR, VR, NFTs, cryptocurrencies on your phone. Like, if you've seen the movie Ready Player One, that type of thing where it's kind of like hooked in the world. But I like to think VR because everything always spirals. Like, everything always comes back. Everything goes for a circle. So Web 5 is like we've had enough of that, and we're like, we need to go because I love the outdoors. When I can go phoneless for like a day, I can just walk around in nature. It's a good time. So I think Web 5 is everyone's like, I've had enough of this AR VR. We need to go back to getting some sun.
Yeah. More real world, walk around, disconnect type of information.
Yeah.
Spend more time with human beings talking rather than, in face-to-face situations.
And don't get me started on like the TikTok, like, like what you mentioned, like everyone on the screen, it's frying everyone's dopamine receptors. It's frying everyone's central nervous system. So it's actually pretty bad for you. So if you're listening to this on your screen, it's not good for you. So just be aware.
Yeah.
And on top of that, your diet isn't just your food diet. So if you eat a bad food, you feel bad the next day. It's the same applies for content. So if you absorb bad content, it won't be good for you. And the way TikTok and the algorithms they made the way they structured their addictive algorithms is just like an early casino. So the early casinos are going to monitor your body functions. And when they can detect you're about to leave, that's when they give you a win, to give you that hit of dopamine to win. The social media companies, they did that exact same framework better. So that's why whenever you're about to stop scrolling, it knows when you're going to stop scrolling. They'll give you something you really like, and then the mindless scroll continues. And what I did about this stuff really helped is because I'm 30, so like I think I got a good age where like in high school or like in middle school I was all outdoors. Like I didn't have a cell phone until 8th grade, and at that point it's a flip phone. So I was blessed to not be like start from an early age to be stuck on my iPhone. But I still am addicted to Instagram and social media. So on my apps, on my phone apps, I put chess.com right next to the Instagram app. So whenever I have the urge to scroll Instagram, I just go to chess.com, break out a couple games, and that's just much more productive.
Yeah, I recognize the addictive nature of social media and how easily it is to get hooked into it. And when I'm going to go in there, I'm going in there for one specific reason and trying to focus on the one thing that I'm trying to do, or I set a timer. And, like after 15 minutes, I have to get out. That's it. Otherwise, I might sit there for an hour and just waste an hour of my life scrolling.
You're just programming yourself with just dumb stuff too. Because it's all programming. You're just like, you're feeding your subconscious with just like, because what hit me is like, I went on Instagram Reels. I'm like, let's see how much of this adds value to my life. And it was like nothing. And it's like, okay, well, this doesn't serve. You got to let it go. Which is why I like on a podcast like this, we spread some positive content. Hopefully they find this instead.
So we've talked about a lot of things. Is there anything else you want to talk about that we haven't discussed?
No, honestly, I think you're a cool guy. I love talking with you. I just like to push. I think everyone's a conscious creator, whether they know it or not. So when you're creating, when you're doing your thing in real life, I just said don't harm anyone and don't take anything away from anyone, and you should be chilling.
Yeah, I love it. That's good advice.
Be more pushable.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you, Eric, and I'm going to be in touch with you. I want to learn more. I want to look into those things, and I want to hear back from you. Bring you back on the show in a few months and see where you're at.
Oh, I'm happy to. And if there's anything I can do to support you in any way or your listeners, let's have an open line of communication and just hit each other up, just like friends would do.
Very cool. I appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, you too, man.
For more information and monthly topics of interest, please go to transformyourfuture.com and join the newsletter.